Home Office Ergonomics 101. I'm Joni Garcia, physical therapist assistant and office ergonomics specialist, and today I'm going to show you some tips to make your office a little bit more comfortable. We'll be using a kitchen table and a kitchen chair, but a lot of the concepts that you learn today you'll be able to carry on to your actual office or your home office if you have one. So the first thing that you'll need today is a kitchen chair, a bungee cord, and a towel. So what we're going to do is put the bungee cord into the towel, and then we're going to roll that over the towel. You might find that your bungee cord is a little bit too long, so you might need to put a knot in the bungee cord at the end. Now what you want to do is make your towel flush with your chair. We're going to be making a lumbar support for this kitchen chair. I'm going to have a seat. I'm going to move this lumbar support a little bit higher to my lumbar spine, which is kind of like the low part of the spine. The other thing that you could do with this lumbar support is make a thoracic support. So you can kind of come up a little bit. And what that does is it gives you a little bit of support in the middle of your back. So this is kind of what's called the thoracic spine, right into this area here. What that does is it helps to push your chest out a little bit in order to keep your ear in line with your shoulder. That will help to take a little bit of strain off of your neck. Now, as you might be able to see in the video, my feet are a little bit high and not flat on the floor. So if that's the case for you, what you can do is get a pillow, put it on the floor, and that'll help you get your feet more flat. What you're looking for in your hips is that you have a 90-degree angle or a little bit more open. So if you're a little bit taller, what you can do is sit on the pillow to open up that range of motion. What you don't want though is that your hip is a little bit too high and putting a lot of compression on that joint there, which can lead to hip pain and also some lumbar pain. Now, some of you guys are fortunate enough to have an office chair, so I'm going to show you some of the features on that. So this is a typical office chair. And what I like you to do is make sure that your chair is set at a level where your feet are flat on the floor. There's also a lumbar support that you might be able to adjust so you can move this part of the chair up or down. But the one thing that people often don't know about is the seat pan depth. So this is what's called the seat pan. And you might see a lever on the chair that says seat pan or depth. And what that does is it helps to take a little bit of pressure off of the back of the knee. So a lot of times people will come to me and say they have a lot of knee pain. And when I go do an office ergonomic assessment, I realize that the back of the chair is actually hitting the back of the knee. So you want to have 2 fingers depth here, a little bit of space, 2 fingers space here to avoid what we call contact stress. The other thing that you could try also is maybe putting a pillow or a towel back here in order to push your legs up a little bit so you're not getting that pressure from the back of your knee and the chair. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually marry our chair to the table. One thing though I wanted to mention to you guys before we go back to the table is you wanna make sure that your armrests are about 90 degrees or a little bit lower than that. This chair had static armrests, so I took them off, but you wanna make sure that you don't you don't want to cause any sort of safety issue if you take the armrest off. So make sure that if you take the armrest off, it doesn't mess with the integrity of the chair. So you want to make sure you have that 90-degree angle or a little bit lower. You don't want dinosaur arms because that can put a lot of pressure on your elbows and also your wrists. So now let's go to our marriage ceremony. So I'm going to take you guys to our kitchen table. And we are now going to marry our chair to the table. So I bet you guys did not know you would be in a marriage ceremony today, but thank you all for coming. So I'm going to sit in the chair. I'm going to move my lumbar support a little bit here to where it's comfortable. And then I'm going to come to my desk. Some of you are going to have a perfect marriage. Everything is going to look great. You're going to feel comfortable. Things are good. But some of us are going to be a little bit too short for the table or a little bit too tall for the table. So if that's the case, what you want to do is get 2 books that are about the same height. So you can see these are about the same height here. And move your computer back a little bit put your books in front of the computer. And hopefully you guys have some sort of a keyboard that you can use. So we're gonna use a keyboard here. This is for my tall people, people that are really tall and where the table is too low for them to be comfortable. We're gonna put the mouse on the side here, and we're gonna have a setup to where we're a little bit higher. So if I'm a little bit taller, I'll be more comfortable here. One thing that you're looking for is that you make sure that your upper trap, this muscle right here, is not too high. So I'll show you here. So it shouldn't be high like this. It should just be down and relaxed. So we're gonna come here, and what you'll find is that you probably are gonna have to move that monitor up. We'll talk about that in a few more minutes here. If you look at me, you'll see that I'm a little bit too low. So what I can do to compensate for that is I can put a pillow underneath my legs, and that'll help me get into that 90-degree position with my hips. But I'm still a little bit too low. So then what I can do is get another pillow, sit on it here. And now I'm a little bit more comfortable in terms of the positioning of my hand and the table. I'll move the books for now. You can kind of see that this is a little bit better. But I have some other tip that will help you a little bit more, and that's using an ironing board. So if you have an ironing board, this will really help out and make you more comfortable at your desk. So I'm going to move my chair back a little bit, and I'm going to bring the ironing board. So if I put my ironing board down in front of my kitchen table, now I can kind of adjust a little bit more in terms of where I am with my keyboard. So I'm going to pull my pillow back. And this is really great for kids too. So if you have a small child that needs a good setup, this is what you can do to help them. So I'm going to move my keyboard. I'm also going to move this pillow because I realize I'm a little bit too high. And I'm going to get my lumbar support a little bit higher. So what you might find is in the morning you might want a little bit more lumbar support, and maybe in the afternoon if you're feeling a little bit tired, you might want to move it up a little bit more in order to get your ear in line with your shoulder. That's a concept that you want to remember. So now you can see my keyboard is a little bit lower, my mouse is a little bit lower, and then I have my monitor here. But the thing is, I want to increase the height of my monitor to be more eye level. So I have two books. I'm going to put my books on top of each other, and that'll help give me a little bit more level with my eyes so I'm not tilting down too much. And then the other thing you're looking for is the distance between your monitor and your eyes. So you want that to be about an arm's length away. So as you can see here, there's a lot of space between my fingers and my monitor. So I'm going to move my monitor closer to me, right about so. And that's going to help me in order to get a little bit less strain in my eyes. The other thing you can also do is increase the text size. So instead of 100%, you could try doing 110% or so. Now, if you only have a laptop, maybe you have a desktop monitor. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. So what you want to do is bring your laptop down in order to use this as your keyboard and your mouse. And you want to use your monitor to give you that feel that you need. So you can bring your laptop down, you can adjust your ironing board as needed, and then you can use your monitor or maybe your TV screen in order to give you that leveling that you need to be comfortable. Now, a couple things I want to mention is you might be able to use a Bluetooth keyboard. So maybe you have one of these laying around. That might be a little bit helpful in terms of getting you set up for success. The other thing that you might also consider is a wrist pad for your keyboard and also a wrist pad for your mouse. Now, if you don't have these things, one thing that you could try is using a towel. So you roll up a towel, put 2 rubber bands on the side, and that can get you a little bit more comfortable. So to end this video, a couple concepts that you want to remember are elbows at 90 degrees or a little bit lower. And also you want to remember that your hips are going to be at 90 degrees or a little bit lower. Finally, you want to make sure that your glare on the screen is not too intense. So in this case, I turn the monitor away from the windows to make the eye strain a little bit less. Thank you guys for watching today. If you have any questions about what we did today, feel free to reach out and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.